ChainPatrol won the Pitchfest at CoinDesk's consensus in Toronto last month. Joining us now is ChainPatrol co-founder and COO Vito Giovannetti for more on life after taking home the big prize. What's up, Vito?
Hey, nice to be here. I'm super excited to share a little bit of our story after Pitchfest. It's regular, life has sort of intensified further on top of continued travels on the crypto circuit. So we've gotten a lot of recognition for our pitch and the purpose that our company is building for. And yeah, we're excited to continue to create more awareness about what we're building, and Pitchfest was sort of like the perfect thing to spotlight some of that.
Now, I want to hear your elevator pitch in the least amount of time possible. Tell our audience what ChainPatrol does.
Yeah, ChainPatrol protects Web3 companies and brands, their staff and their communities from online threats, from phishing, from impersonation, from wallet drainer pages, from fake Twitter profiles, from fake domains. We detect all of these things. We block them across wallets and web browsers, and we manage the takedowns for these organizations because the pace and volume of the threats that are happening in Web3 are unsustainable for most teams to manage on their own.
I want to talk a little bit about how you prepared for the Pitchfest, because I talked to some of the judges during consensus and they were saying, yeah, there's a few standout projects, but founders maybe need to work on X, Y, and Z. How did you prep for the Pitchfest? Did you go into it kind of confident that you had your pitch down?
Yeah, so our story is interesting. We were considered the dark horse in this year's Pitchfest, and we were selected as the wild card to make it into the finals. So, a lot of people were asking me, how I was getting prepared. At first, one of the other competitors referenced me to Allen Iverson and said that he was going to, treat it more like Kobe and be super prep. So once I got to the finals, I was like, I gotta balance my ease and my flow with hardcore preparation. So the night before, I polished up a few things. I took some advice from my father, and I think that was like the difference that ultimately separated me from all the other guys.
Vito, I got to ask you about the Allen Iverson reference. That means you didn't practice?
Yeah, the first one there was a bit of a surprise pitch. So we came in just with our pure passion for what we're doing. We told the story of our business, and I think that really resonated with the judges. I think they were like, this is a group of people that want to make change in crypto. This is a group of people that are also building a serious business to fight against bad actors in the world. And I think that helped us squeak into the finals. But the finals, wow, the amazing companies in there.
Wish you could access cash without selling your Bitcoin? Ledn makes that possible. The global leader in Bitcoin-backed lending, Ledn has issued over $9 billion in loans since 2018 and never lost a single satoshi of client assets. Why is a Ledn loan different? With custodied loans, collateral is not lent out to generate interest, no credit checks, funds in less than 12 hours, no monthly payments, repay whenever you want with zero penalties. And proof of reserves reports verified by a top accounting firm are published every 6 months. Ledn gives Bitcoin holders a secure, transparent way to unlock liquidity without selling. Learn more at ledn.io. That's ledn.io. I want to talk a little bit more about the story that you pitched to the judges. One of the judges was telling me, for folks who are getting ready to pitch, they should really focus on their founder story. So tell me a little bit, Vito, about you and the team. Why are you the right people to solve this problem? And why is it something that you're so passionate about building?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Like the founding team has worked together for 8 years. We worked on a first company together that sort of led us into the crypto ecosystem. And we realized wow, there's so many threats here and so many impersonations on Twitter and Telegram and Discord. And we were inspired to see, hey, can we do something about this? We did a hackathon, which we encourage other builders to do. We did this in New York. ETH Global Hackathon. And that initially was our initial idea, but eventually blossomed into ChainPatrol. And really the purpose that united us all was that there's people of all ages around the world, especially people where English isn't their first language, and they're falling victim to many of these threats that ChainPatrol is stopping on a daily basis. So like part of our effort is to continue spreading awareness for people to stay safe, but also to like lead cutting edge AI innovation to fight against like the onset of these threats that are this next generation that are emerging.
All right, I started off this conversation talking about life after winning the Consensus Pitchfest. Talk to me about your roadmap for the rest of the year. What are you building towards, and what are some of those immediate barriers or challenges that are in front of you?
Yeah, our roadmap is really to continue protecting more Web3 companies in the space, and communities. We think that there are thousands of communities out there that could be using our protection right now. So we're trying to reach out to as many projects as possible. Are some of the ongoing challenges, I think, are just, staying focused like any company. There's a lot of different aspects of security in Web3, whether that be on the audit side or on the bounty side or on the on-chain security side. ChainPatrol is the #1 company that's doing off-chain security and protecting Web3 brands from what, people would say would be traditional online threats. So we got to stay focused on that. Our challenge is to continue innovating at the cutting edge of automation and AI, because the scale of the threats that are coming, they're unprecedented. So
Tell me a little bit more about how it works. How are you using AI to help keep communities safe? How are you working with some of your clients to help keep consumers and users of these protocols and products safe?
Yeah, absolutely. We're using AI in our entire stack of detecting threats, reviewing threats that they're malicious. There's a bunch of different ruling systems that come into play that LLMs can support us in making decisions on. And more importantly, just this leveraging automation to respond faster to these threats, because in Web3, more than any other industry, the pace and the volume of these threats from one day to the next is it's really hard to explain in numbers. Like ChainPatrol has blocked 250,000 threats just in the last year in across crypto and the Web3 ecosystem. So yeah, for us, it's just like there's probably millions of threats. So we have a big vision to try to, make it safer and detect more.
Vito, give me a real world example. You just said, you've protected folks against hundreds of thousands of threats. Give me one example that stands out in your head, is the one that you tell folks about at pitch competitions where you've identified a threat and been able to stop that in minutes.
Yeah, I would say my personal favorite story this year has to be, or this past year has been protecting Polymarket, the predictive markets a company that grew to popularity during the US election. It was interesting, like how we saw an emergence of threats associated to key events during the US election, and how that impacted their platform, and how they were at the forefront and leading best practice to find ways to mitigate and moderate comments that were attracting people to sites where their wallets get drained right away. So we protected, the presidential debates, the vice presidential debates, election night, and the whole week of election, and ongoing now into the future. So I think that's like a great case study that we tell people about, because it's one that reached the mainstream, but we also protect, major wallets like MetaMask, and from threats daily. So we're dealing with tens of thousands of threats per month with some of these organizations, and we don't expect that to decline that much.
All right, Vito, we are going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with all of the next steps you're taking after winning the Pitchfest, and hopefully we'll see you at the next consensus.
Thank you, Jen. We appreciate it. Have a great one.
That was ChainPatrol co-founder and COO Vito Giovannetti.